Noah, what is the potential of the region, in fact, in real?
I mean, there's huge potential for sure. I mean, it's a huge region, Judith, but it's going to take us time to get there. And we've seen this for years now, but the investment in art, infrastructure, museums, collections here in Qatar is in many ways second to none. But it's not just here. I see extraordinary developments. A lot of our guests this week coming from Diriyah in Saudi Arabia, and the Ministry of Culture there has done extraordinary things. Also, obviously, lots going on in the UAE. A lot of guests this week from India as well. Fair
really?
in Delhi is in a few days' time, and that's a huge market. So I think in thinking about Art Basel Qatar's future, it's important to think about a really wide catchment of the world, spanning the GCC, but extending into South and Central Asia, into Africa, as well as the international art market. I've been totally overwhelmed this morning on the opening of the show to see so many friends and colleagues and art professionals from New York, London, Los Angeles, the Bay Area, China. Just ran into a dear old friend, a great collector from Shenzhen, who I had no idea was coming. So it's really exciting. The future and future potential is big. But we wanted to start smaller, more intentional, so that we can build the scale here and really grow this market hand in hand with our partners.
But locally, what's going on with the market? There's not so many collectors here, right?
Well, there's some of the largest collectors in the world with the royal family, but increasingly there are private patrons for arts that are standing up here. There's more local Qatari collectors. There's more and more businesses getting set up in Doha. And of course also, in this part of the world broadly. There's a lot of folks here from Dubai, which is, its own dynamic business hub and elsewhere. So I think, as with many Art Basel shows, the future of Art Basel Doha, Art Basel Qatar in Doha is very much a connective and a bridge-making future. It's a hub city. The airport here is one of the great airports in the world. Many of our clients globally are used to transitioning or transiting through Doha. So I think, as we've seen in Miami, which is a bridge to South America, with Hong Kong, which was a bridge maybe in the early years to mainland China, but as it's grown and matured, it's really been a gateway to the broader Asian market, which in turn has continued to diversify. And I think we're going to see much the same here in Qatar.
And the fact that there are really few galleries here, isn't it a problem? How many galleries
How many galleries are there in Basel, Miami?
Basel, there was the greatest gallery.
Sure, Ernst Beiler was a driving force. But the point is that Art Basel never resides singularly on a gallery infrastructure in its own backyard. It resides in, being in a hub, a place that people want to go, a place that's, easily connected to other places. And Basel historically is one of the great trading cities.
How many Qatari galleries do you have in the fair?
In the fair, there's our Marquia Gallery, is the lone gallery in the Doha Design District building. Mm-hmm. But look, I mean, for many years in Miami, we had Fred Snitzer, we had David Castillo over the years, even 20 some years into that adventure. We still, have but a handful of galleries. But the gallery scene and the commercial scene in Miami has grown. We've seen that similarly in Hong Kong. So I think for Art Basel's business, we are very, focused on, patronage of local cities, regions, communities, and rooting in and really uplifting, a local cultural ecosystem, bringing the world to that ecosystem, but also in time bringing that ecosystem to the world.
But there are antagonism, competition between the different wealthy city of the region also.
I think it's a rising tides phenomenon, honestly. I think there's competition. Competition is good all over the world, but we welcomed here extraordinary groups from the Saudi Ministry of Culture.
Abu Dhabi?
From Abu Dhabi as well. We've seen many of the curators, collectors.
Because Abu Dhabi is a real competitor organizing a fair next November.
I take issue with that. There's competition. Competition's healthy, but in the end, rising tides will lift all boats in the Manasa region, and our focus is singularly on delivering an Art Basel caliber fair with acute focus and clarity on bringing extraordinary work, something that feels of its place. Over half the galleries are from the region. We have over 80 projects. Over half the artists participating in those projects are all here. YL is one, but in town this week we have many artists, both from here but also internationally. So it's a special thing, and I think Art Basel will play into a broader ecosystem development in this part of the world, which is really exciting, very enriching. I think there's a lot of extraordinary artists and future potentials that that haven't yet reached the visibility I think that they deserve on the international stage. And I think it's also important in that regard to underline very clearly that this isn't all on Art Basel. We're plugging into a system that's had many years and decades of rich evolution. There's many artists for some time now in this region that have done extraordinary work and are well known within the Arabic art world. And I think part of Art Basel's mission, as ever, is to further elevate that. And one of the goals for this venture, which is a long-term, ambitious venture,
how long is the long term? Because
for years and years and years, Judith, we've never operated anywhere in the world on a temporary basis with our fair platform. So we're here for the long term and look to build that.
Yeah, because it's a very rich fair, right?
What does that mean?
It means that you are able to invite artists, to invite two assistants of galleries. You support a lot
it's
the
a
initiative.
very specific setup, and we look forward to continuing that here.
Okay, how long can it last?
For many years, I can assure you.
Bon, and can you speak about what are the booths that you think are fantastic?
I mean, I think that there's a lot, just sort of, I think one of the things that really stands out here is the three-dimensionality of it. I think, often art fairs, and a lot of the market is defined by painting and things that are very digestible. But, this is a very three-dimensional fair. I think whether you have this extraordinary Donald Judd, with Mignoni, the iconic American artist, but you ladder over to somebody like Ali Cherry, or Iman Issa with Rodeo Gallery in London. It's an extraordinary fair. There's amazing videos. Kim Suja video with Vervoort is a wonderful piece. Alvaro Barrington with Sadie Colvin. It's a phenomenal new body of work. To Boeti and others. So it's a real mixture. And then you have artists like Marwan showing with Andreas Fair-Semler, next to Gustin, next to Charlie Ray is one of my favorite artists. So, it's really exciting. A lot of the public projects are fantastic. Sumaya Valley, this amazing installation in Barahat Squares, very special. Ryan Tibet's outdoor sculpture installation is also phenomenal. So I think you've got artists from different generations, different geographies that have all really leaned in to present amazing work.
And who came with the idea of only one artist for one booth?
I mean, it was a shared idea. We work with Vincenzo and with our partners in Qatar, and we said, hey, we want to start small, we want to start intentional, we want this to look and feel materially different than another Art Basel fair, but executed at a level of ambition and quality that will sit shoulder to shoulder. And so, very quickly, with Wael's appointment as the artistic director of the fire station here, and he's relocated to Doha in the last year, we felt that Wael, is a phenomenal artist, Egyptian artist, really, one of the icons of the last Venice biennial, would be the perfect artist to work with, and it's been a dream.
Merci, monsieur.